The following podcast is a proud member of the Blue Collar Roots Network. Find all the shows by visiting bluecollarroots.com. And now, the man who takes the BS out of BS, Bill Spohn.
Welcome back to another episode of the Building HVAC Science Podcast, where it's our goal to help create better, more knowledgeable HVAC and building performance technicians. In this case, we'll be talking about sort of a scientific subject, and that would be chemicals that are used in and around HVAC systems. We'll be talking with Mike Walton of CoolAir Products. He's from Maryland, and he's going to talk to us in this episode about two of the products that he's brought to the U.S. market, the AC SmartSeal External, which is a line and coil repair product, and the AC SmartSeal Quick Shot, which is an internal sealant. He'll talk about why and how he formed the company, and we'll also find out how he focuses on the technician by making products that are safe, effective, and easy to use. So let's listen in and learn about HVAC chemicals, the ones that are delivered by CoolAir Products. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are you today, Bill?
Good. It's cold here. We don't know when people will be listening, but it's really cold. It's the Arctic cold where we live. I live in Pennsylvania, and you live in Maryland?
I'm in Maryland, so it's not quite as bad as Chicago today, but it's a little snow on the ground.
Cool. So CoolAir Products, they're mainly, would you call them chemicals or products they're used for repairing, fixing, working around equipment? They're actually not tools so much, but more chemicals?
Correct. Our company, CoolAir Products, develops and manufactures very unique chemical solutions for the industry. We're not me-too products. We have products that solve problems, and our technology allows us to kind of extend the current reach of other chemical products out there.
Where's sort of the mastermind behind the science or the chemistry? Is it you? Is it someone you work with? Or where does this really come from?
No. So I started the company back in 2014, kind of evolved from we were selling chemical products to some OEMs around the world. And the science, the R&D behind this product was actually formulated in Europe from the very first polymer-free sealant back in, I believe, 2005, evolved through R&D to now become what we call AC SmartShot, which is a very new technology. It allows you to have a polymer-free sealant, but also in a small dose. So a lot of the old polymer-free sealants would come in 1 ounce to 2 ounces, whether it's for automotive or the world we live in. But this product, it actually has a different molecular structure. So it reduces the amount of product down from 1 to 2 ounces to 0.2 ounces. So a very small amount of product going into the system, but with better results than the larger formulas.
Got it. So what's really the cause of leaks? I mean, in order to solve the problem, you have to know how the problem happens, I would imagine, to create the correct chemistry. So what's happening that makes leaks happen?
Recently, we're seeing a lot more leaks than years past. In the years past, it was a lot of older equipment. Now you're seeing everything from impure copper that's engineered with thinner walls to formicary corrosion as a result of poor indoor air quality, moisture in the refrigerant. And really, the big thing is manufacturing. A lot of these coils are being manufactured with less skill than they were in the years past. And it's unfortunate, but it's a reality now when you see some of these things being manufactured and leaking within the first year.
You'd mentioned you started the company in 2014. What was your background before that? What were you doing before you got involved with CoolAir?
Well, my background, I spent about 10 years working for Parker Hannifin as a U.S. manager. And then I kind of went outside the box and went to work for a global manufacturer of HVAC systems for the rail industry. So we manufactured rail HVAC systems for passenger trains, metro, high-speed rail, all over the world. And the company had manufacturing facilities in Baltimore, in Madrid, Spain, and in Australia. And that's kind of where I got the idea to start this business and focus at first solving leak issues in that industry, where if you have a New York City Transit and you have 7,000 cars, well, when there's leaks, cars get hot, people get upset. So we started selling this product to prevent leaks and always keep cars in service and cars cool.
a perfect sort of tough environment to cut your teeth on, so to speak.
Another thing, just one more comment, in that industry, there's so much noise and vibration on the rails that leaks would occur more frequently than you would have in a standalone residential or commercial unit.
It's a real tough testing ground for this kind of product.
Exactly.
The products themselves, are they tested, the chemical compounds tested, or the application process tested? Has anyone tested your products?
We've had a lot of tests done, both with customers, OEMs, and also third parties. So Intertek, all of our products are Intertek tested, which is a third-party lab. We've had testing done with OEMs, although no OEM likes to say that they allow products in their product, certainly not sealants, but we've done testing with a few of the OEMs with positive results.
Right. And you've been producing this product now, it's sort of 2014. So we're 2019, almost getting on 5 years here. So you would have heard if there was some issues with it.
Nah, there's really no issues with the polymer-free products. You really have no issues with any type of clogging or damage to any internal component. And going to the 0.2 ounces puts a lot less into a system.
Let's cover the steps with the SmartSeal. You call it a quick shot 3-in-1. What's the 3-in-1? What does that mean?
So the 3-in-1 is the actual sealant. Then we have a small amount of lubricant, and then we have UV dye, all in a single 0.2 ounce application. So obviously you have the sealant to seal the leaks, you have the lubricant to kind of clean out the compressor, and then the UV dye is there because if you find larger leaks that can't be sealed internally, we have the UV dye so you can use our external product for large leaks.
It's a single shot, just a single injector.
It's a single shot. What makes us unique compared to the others out there is we have a reusable injector. And there's a lot of products out there, not a lot, but a handful of products out there that, number one, they're not polymer free. So they react to air and moisture. But they also are single use applications. And we looked at it, and when in manufacturing these products, probably 80% of the cost is in the actual injector. So instead of using it once and throwing it away, we have a very high quality reusable injector that can be used many, many times, multiple times. That allows the contractor, the technician, to save about 50% on overall products.
And then so there's cartridges with the refill cartridges, which you would use for subsequent uses of the product.
Exactly. We have the injector kit, and then you have the refills. And the third thing that we offer, every refill has a quick connect, two quick connect adapters, a 1/4 inch and a 5/16. And the reason we have these is if it's a low pressure system, you can just push the product in without the use of the high pressure injector. And when I say low pressure, about 130 psi or less. Some of the old style 2 ounce, 1.5 ounce syringes above 40 psi, you would need a caulk gun. But the way our smaller syringe is designed, you can push this in up to 130 psi. It gives options.
And I imagine the UV dye is just, it's compatible with any UV lighting or a system like that. It's just a UV reactive compound.
Exactly. Solvent free, which is important in a UV dye. Solvent free and is visible under any UV light.
So you shared with me a technical bulletin about the effects of polymers and UV dyes. So you've got a very nice summary of that, which I think people know I own Tech Tools and we carry this product. That's part of the reason why you're on the show is we wanted to learn more about it and share more about what's there. So we'll be posting this technical bulletin there if that's okay with you.
Oh, great. It's a very good bulletin.
Yeah. So the high points there in the bulletin, how would you summarize? So you give me like a list of like 5 high points. What are some of the key characteristics of the technology of the compounds you're using?
The main thing is there's sealants out there that in the past have gotten kind of given sealants a bad name. And those sealants have polymers. And when you have polymers, they react to air and moisture to create a seal. So whenever there's air and moisture in the system, it'll lock up, it'll kind of freeze the leak. But you also risk clogging components where our product is polymer free. Instead of traveling with the refrigerant, it travels with the lubricant, and then the molecules will locate the leak and seal it a soft bond. It's not a hard, quick fix. It's a soft bond and then changes in temperature and pressure will make that bond harder over time. And the sealant will remain in the system, so it prevents future leaks. Where sealants that react to air and moisture will find a leak, seal it, and it won't prevent future leaks. So that's really the big difference in how the technology works between polymer-free and polymer-based.
And the way it reacts to changes in temperature and pressure, there's beneficial aspects to that. Is that true?
Yeah, it's an elastic bond that, again, is created by the molecules grasping on the interior of a leak source. And then the change in pressure and temperature will make that bond stronger. So it takes about 30 minutes to create a seal, where some polymer base will react immediately, but it's a hard stop seal that is a chemical reaction as opposed to a mechanical action.
So the compatibility with refrigerants is pretty universal. Anything that's on the market now, is that what you'd say? Any restrictions?
Anything on the market today. We've also already been tested and being used on the new propane and butane for appliances, the R600 to R290. Having a partner that has an R&D lab in Europe, they see a lot of things in Europe with refrigerant changes before we do in the U.S. So we're always one step ahead here.
We have another key product. You got a number of products that you've developed here and resell across the U.S. market under the CoolAir brand. One of the other ones was the external, SmartSeal External. So tell me what that's about and what differentiates that from other things. People may get confused when they look at it. They might think it's something else.
Yeah, it looks like a little Tootsie Roll, but it's a two-part epoxy that can be blended easily with your fingers to seal larger holes. Most internal sealants will seal pinholes that are anywhere from 100 to 200 or 300 microns. With larger holes, they won't seal. So the external product allows you to create a seal on a hole up to 5 millimeters, so about the size of a pencil eraser. And you blend it with your fingers. There's no tools needed. There's no need to wear gloves. There's no need to add heat or no need to add water to mix. Very simple. You cut off the piece in the end. You blend it with your fingers. You apply externally around the circumference of where the leak occurs. And then within a cure time of 1 hour to 3 hours, you have a permanent seal that handles pressure up to 825 psi. So 5 millimeters and 825 psi. So it's very unique. It's the only epoxy that I know of in the world that is designed to be compatible with all refrigerants and lubricants. Some people mention a company, JB Weld, that does epoxies. Well, this epoxy may look similar, but it's designed for ACR systems.
You can't see the chemistry when you look at it. You have to read the literature, trust the company's testing and things like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of literature. We have test results. We've done accelerated testing. So pretty much shows it'll last 12 to 15 years. Obviously, it's a quick fix. If a coil's on back order or you can't get a flame somewhere, this can be a quick fix, but it also can be a permanent seal that will last 12 to 15 years.
Do you know what happens after 12 to 15 years?
I know the product will last that long through the testing. I don't have one in service that long, so it's hard to tell. I'm thinking it starts to dissolve, but most systems won't be around. You're thinking you're putting this on a system that's already 2, 3, 4 years old. So you're talking about the life of the system.
You're near the edge of the service life, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I want to emphasize is we sell products, whether it's internal sealants or external sealants. Of course, we like to sell them on every application, but it can be a quick fix. We're not trying to tell people to take the skill out of the trade. These are products that you can have in your toolbox, you keep in your truck, and there's always a need for them. But we're not trying to tell everybody you don't need skill to be in this business.
Right. It has its purpose, it has its use at certain times, like you said, where you can bring in no flame, or where you have the replacement coil coming, or you have it on order and you just need time, and time's not on your side.
Right. It gives the ultimate customer the option if you're talking to a homeowner and you say, well, there's a leak and your options are replace the unit, get a new coil, or we can try this quick fix and see how it works for a year.
Okay, let's take a look at the other products from CoolAir. What other products in this chemical AC world have you created, things that work for the technician?
So the 3-in-1 product has, as I mentioned, the sealant, the UV dye, and also the lubricant. We sell all of those products, the lubricant and the UV dye, standalone, so single dose or single application of each. And the beauty of those is it uses the same technology as the 3-in-1 sealant. So the reusable injector, then also the refills that have the quick connect adapters for lower pressures. So we have the UV dye, the lubricant. We're coming out in the next month or so with a no acid product. And then we also have some unique other things that we should have out by June. And it's going to be 4 or 5 new products. So we should have a full, I'd say by June or July, we should have a total of about 10 to 12 unique products.
And I see here you have the evaporator cleaning tablets. Those are chemicals you place in the evaporator pan. Is that correct?
No, actually, they're drop-in coil cleaners. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of the Tide and the Tide Pod concept. Instead of buying a gallon of coil cleaner, we have these tabs. They dissolve like Alka-Seltzer. You see, all you need is a tab. Instead of storing these in a messy gallon in the back of your truck, you can keep them in your glove compartment. They just drop in. So you show up on the job site, you find a gallon of water, or you just refill an old gallon with water, hose water. You drop in the tablet, they dissolve in as fast as 10 minutes. And then you have your coil cleaner without the mess, without the storage space, without all the handling and the hazardous concerns. So it's a unique product. Again, we're not trying to replace the world of cleaners, but it's a very unique concept. They clean well, and for the benefits of lower storage space and cleaner handling, they're very ideal.
Absolutely. Great stuff. So there's a lot of chemistry behind this. You said you have a European partner who's the real chemist or the solution formulator. Is that true?
We have a few partners. Again, we're involved in all the manufacturing. We're involved in the R&D behind these products, and we're starting to bring more manufacturing here to the USA, which is good. I'm pretty confident that all of our products can be defined as USA made, produced here in the US within a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's something we have to do. Manufacturing in the USA is very important to us, very important to the trade, and we have a commitment to do that.
Fantastic. So you were at the AHR Expo, the 2019, a few weeks ago. Is that true?
I was.
You had a booth there on display?
Yes, we were at a booth.
Okay. I apologize. I didn't get a chance to visit with you at your booth, but can you give us sort of like an overview of how that went? What did you show? What was the reaction? Was it an eye opener? How did that go?
Well, it was really, you know how those shows are. You use that space for a lot of meetings, and you also get a lot of new customers and wondering what's new out there. We used it primarily. We had a lot of very important meetings with large wholesalers, and it gave us a chance to have all of our products in one place and also show what we're doing, show what's coming out new. And it's always great to talk to contractors walking by and give them some samples, tell them how the product works. And in most cases, we're able to really show something of value to a contractor, to a technician.
Fantastic. Great.
We miss you. I think you were the local celebrity there. You must have been in the VIP suites all day.
I have no idea where it was. It's all a blur. If anyone that hasn't gone to that show, it's like 2,100 exhibitors, I don't know, 60,000 people over 3 days.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no.
Even the last day, you still kind of had this traffic problem getting through the aisleways.
Well, yeah, and it was crazy. In those shows, you know how they are. You get up and you get there at 8 o'clock or to do some pre-meetings, and then the show starts at 10. It's over at 6. By the time you get out of there, it's 7, and then you end up going to dinner with somebody or talking afterwards. So it's quite a long day for 4 days straight.
It is.
I think everybody walks out with their feet hurting and their lower back in pain.
How would you want to wrap things up here for our listeners? What's the major thought you want to leave them with in terms of CoolAir products?
Well, number one, we're very excited to work with you. Very honored to be on your podcast and hoping you saw some value in the call. Basically, CoolAir Products is not your normal chemical company. We offer unique products for the trade. We offer problem solvers, and all of our products, again, are user-friendly, 100% safe to the touch, all tested to be non-clogging. Our goal is our ultimate customer is the contractor technician. So we sell to you guys, And then we have our local wholesalers that support us with local inventory.
And you're also very approachable. And I think just from the mere fact that you wanted to come on the podcast, wanted to work with us, that just says you're very approachable. You have a very nice, even-keeled manner about you. Sounds like you've got a lot of experience. You know how to handle situations. So I think that's all very important from the support aspect for a product, too.
I think you're saying I'm old.
So am I. We are.
No, our company thrives on being customer-friendly 24/7. If someone calls, they'll get a response 15 minutes from the time they call. And we're very reactive to the needs of wholesalers. We spend a lot of time on the road doing counter days and training and meeting with technicians. It's our life. It's what we do. And we're proud to bring unique products to the industry.
Fantastic. So contact information. What's the best way to learn about the products, to get in touch? What's your best avenue for people who are listening?
We have our website, which is coolairproducts.net. Anybody can always email me or call me directly. My email, mikewalton@coolairproducts.net, or certainly my number's on the website. Call me anytime directly. I'll answer and help out with any concerns or questions or opportunities.
That's great. I want to thank you for coming on the podcast today and explaining what CoolAir Products is, sort of what your philosophy is, your approach to customers, customer service, and problem solving. This safe to the touch problem solver, a different, unique chemical company that's worth a look. So I'm glad you came on today.
Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to this episode. Hope you grabbed a few tidbits of information from our guest, Mike Walton. If you want to find out more about what we're doing at the Building HVAC Science podcast, you can follow us on Facebook by typing Building HVAC Science into the Facebook search bar. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the Building HVAC Science podcast, please email me at bill@bluecollarroots.com. We're part of the Blue Collar Roots network of HVAC and related podcasts, Service Business Mastery, the Classic HVAC School podcast, and the Tool Pros podcast. If you're in the market for some of the tools or products we mentioned in the podcast, take a look at TruTech Tools, TruTechTools.com. You can use the code HVACBS for a nice discount. That's HVACBS. And in full disclosure, I'm one of the co-owners at TruTech Tools. I want to thank you for listening to the podcast today. I want to leave you with one little quote. Since we're talking about science all the time, we talked about a sort of a chemical, scientific product here with Mike Walton today. This is a quote by Carl Sagan. "Science is a way of thinking, much more than it is a body of knowledge." So we hope these podcasts help you think differently. Again, subscribe to our podcast so you can get instantaneous downloads, and please like us or write us a nice review on the podcast app. Thanks a lot for listening in again to the Building HVAC Science podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.